Now, year today, the S&P 500 trades at 8.18%, which is something that brings a lot of confusion, or that makes investors to be confused as to why is the market, of course, recovering, or why are we seeing such a huge recovery in the markets, whereas the economic conditions in the US have not improved. I mean, yeah, we have started the earnings week, or the Q1 earnings weeks last week or 2 weeks back, which we saw, of course, companies like Tesla last week failing to beat analyst expectations in their Q1 earnings, or on the earnings per share, which is something that obviously continue worries the investors of what's coming into the other big companies. I mean, this week, ladies and gents, we are expected to see more tech companies, or more big tech companies reporting their earnings. I mean, we've got Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa, Amazon, and so many other companies, or big companies that are reporting their earnings this week. And so many, or what's in so many investors' minds right now is that what kind of earnings are we going to see from these big tech giants? As we saw, like I said last week, not only did Tesla, of course, report or fail to beat analyst expectations on the earnings per share, but also their gross margins came below 20%, which was something that is, or that was quite a bit worrisome to those that are investing into the Tesla stocks. So yes, this week we are yet to see the earnings of some of the big tech companies in the US, and I must say these earnings are very important because they will show us exactly what we can expect to other tech companies in the next coming few weeks. Because like I said, the earnings season once again is open, and we are expecting to see, of course, some of the big companies, or we're expecting to see the big companies reporting their Q1 earnings, or their first quarterly earnings of 2023. So these earnings that are coming are what matters most in the markets. So if all these big companies like Meta, Amazon, Alphabet, and Visa report or continue to see a growth in their earnings, or beat analyst expectations, then chances are, even on the upcoming or in other big tech companies, then we might see those companies doing very well. But I don't see that happening, because as I've said last week, we saw Tesla reporting their Q1 earnings, and not only did we see them missing the earnings per share, or missing those earnings as to what analysts expected, but we also saw them reporting or declining in terms of gross margin below 20%, which is something that, of course, it was a problem. Now, yes, before we forget, I should say already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. Now, I really appreciate if you can just hit the like button if you do enjoy the content that I'm giving you about what's coming. I mean, ladies and gents, like I said, this week it is very important to those that are, of course, investing in the stock market, because we are getting to see more big companies, or more big tech companies coming to report Q1 earnings this week, and this will either break or make the markets, or these are, in my personal opinion, I believe that obviously it might maybe recover the S&P 500 more, or crash it towards the 52-week low. Because, ladies and gents, yeah, the surging of the market, I don't think is validated that much. In fact, there are so many analysts who are thinking that obviously S&P 500 trading over 4,100, it's something that makes them to fear investing in this kind of market conditions. So yeah, I guess if the earnings come out to be worse than what analysts expect, we are definitely going to see the stock market beginning, or the S&P 500 beginning to lose those gains we saw year to date. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, I really appreciate if you can just hit the likes button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit that, or click that notification bell. So yes, we are going to see, ladies and gents, companies reporting, or big tech companies reporting their Q1 earnings, or the first quarterly earnings for year 2023. And this, like I said, is going to make or break the markets, because as we saw last week, Tesla has already reported their Q1 earnings, and they were not looking that good, which is why we saw the Tesla stock dropping 10% the next day they trade after they reported their earnings, which is something that we might see if these stocks that we're anticipating do not report good earnings. I mean, today after market hours, Alphabet Microsoft and Visa will be reporting their first quarterly earnings of 2023, and I must say that I'll be closely monitoring that. In fact, I think each and every retail investor, or almost all retail investor, will be monitoring these earnings to check if whether Alphabet, Microsoft, Visa will beat analyst expectations, or will, if whether they will report good first quarterly earnings, which is something that obviously, should it happen that they report good earnings, then we are going to see, of course, the markets maybe responding quite positively based on that. But should it happen that obviously they miss analyst expectations, that we are going to definitely see obviously the markets also responding to that, or their share prices responding to that by dropping or by losing the gains that we've been seeing in most of these stocks recently. I mean, you will notice, those of you that have been following me for some time, to say that I think 2 or 3 weeks ago I did an article which obviously showed that, or which was showing that so many of the companies in the S&P 500 companies, they are of course predicting or projecting missing earnings, or seeing a decline in terms of the earnings, which is something that obviously is not good at all. And the fact that, of course, company like Tesla has already reported or saw themselves missing analyst expectations makes me to be worried, because, ladies and gents, like I said, if we continue seeing these companies like Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa today after market hours missing of course the analyst expectations, then, ladies and gents, I believe, like what we saw some of the retail investors say on Twitter, you have to call your mother, because the market's chances are that it will crash. The markets will crash, which is something that obviously will give an opportunity to those that have been wanting to buy these stocks, to those that feel like they missed the previous rally, to go in the market, load the boat, increase their holdings, because, ladies and gents, after all, of course, the dropping, we know that, of course, there is joy that comes in the morning. The markets, once again, will definitely surge in terms of the share price. So, yes, I know that obviously a lot of people are eyeing on the upcoming earnings, especially today after market hours, because it's not only just one company or one big tech company reporting earnings, but we've got 3 big tech companies in the stock, in the S&P 500, reporting their first quarterly earnings of 2023, which is something that obviously a lot of people will be closely monitoring those earnings. Otherwise, tomorrow after market hours, we've got Meta. Thursday after market hours, we've got Amazon, which also, those are some of the big, of course, companies' earnings that so many of the investors will be closely monitoring to see, of course, if this, of course, rally that we've been seeing this on the S&P 500 is substantiated or not. If, of course, they fail, like I said, to beat analyst expectations, then, of course, you need to brace yourselves for the, of course, dropping or from the plummeting of the S&P 500, because it will mean that companies are not doing that well. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought to just give you these quick updates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me. And I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you buy any company, load the boat, or increase your holdings on any company, it is important that you do your own due diligence so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing in the stock market. That's all from me. And I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And God bless you all.